All right, I hope you can hear me because I'm sorry about that. Streamlabs was giving me a pain, and I just thought about something I've got to do on my Streamlabs. I just want to make sure that you can hear. Hello, hello, hello. All right, I hope you can hear me. Okay, good. All right, so this is just the craziest thing, and there are so many layers. To say it's an onion is not even the tip of the iceberg, to use a bunch of cliches. The blonde woman there is one of their surrogates. She's the one that has a GoFundMe. Let's get into this. Okay, so that's Kayla Elliott right up here. And this is the house that they lived in that was allegedly, according to a neighbor, set up like a hotel with a lobby and a circular desk area with what drives as a clerk. But how did this whole thing come about? Well, it's in May. In May, a 2-month-old baby was brought to the hospital with head injuries. Now, this is in Arcadia, California. A nanny who worked for the couple, they had multiple nannies, is suspected of violently shaking the child, causing the baby to lose consciousness. The parents were aware of the abuse, according to police, but failed to seek help. So they were arrested in May. A warrant was issued for the nanny, but police haven't been able to locate her. Now, why this broke like this when they were arrested in May, something broke this wide open, is that Elliot learned Wednesday that the child that she had for them was one of 21 children. So the surrogacy agency was called MARK, M-A-R-K, Surrogacy Investment LLC. Investment. Why would you? Surrogacy Investment LLC. And they told the surrogate that they had one teenage child and they had given up on trying to have a second one after 10 rounds of failed fertility treatments. But she later learned that MARK Surrogacy was registered to the couple's address. During the child endangerment investigation, police discovered 15 children at the couple's house. 6 more belonging to the couple were found in the care of family members and friends. The youngest was the 2-month-old. The oldest was 13. Now, they say they believe that 1 or 2 of the children were born biologically to the mother. This woman is, believes, it says she's 38 years old. She looks a lot older than that. He's 60-something, 65. But the rest are from surrogates. The public records show the business license for MARK Surrogacy was recently terminated, and a pregnant surrogate said the agency continues to contact her. On Wednesday, a news company received a text message from a phone associated with one of them that said, "Any accusations of wrongdoing are misguided and wrong. We look forward to vindicating any such claims at the appropriate time when and if any actions are brought." Now, after the baby that this surrogate carried was born, she learned it was not living in Cuba with the couple, but with a nanny and another child of a similar age. Okay, and so someone at the Center for Bioethics and Culture Network, Callie Fell, said that this surrogate Elliott's experience is not entirely uncommon. She has spoken with hundreds of surrogates worldwide who shared nightmare scenarios, including a woman whose surrogate family refused to provide healthy living conditions while she was pregnant. There's so many ways these kinds of things go sideways, and no amount of law will protect a woman or child because surrogate pregnancies are high risk by nature. In Elliot's case, something seemed off as soon as the baby was born. She said that the woman, Zhang, was hours late for the birth and barely looked at the baby in the hospital room. Before she left, Zhang handed Elliot $2,000 in cash. I don't know what the motive was now, but it was just very, very not what you would expect out of somebody who really wanted a child. It was very transactional. The child that Kayla gave birth to is now in foster care. She said she is working on gaining custody of the baby. Now, there's different reports that she is now gaining custody of the baby, or she's looking to place the baby in a permanent home. There's a GoFundMe, all of that, right? Okay. The 20 other children are in the custody of California Child Welfare Agency, while the Arcadia Police and the FBI investigate the couple and determine whether they misled surrogate mothers around the country. I would love to speak with this woman because I have a lot of questions. Bail was set for them at $500,000 each, and they were released. So let's go on here. So we got a lot to uncover. So surrogate mothers from Texas to Florida thought they were carrying a baby for a Southern California couple struggling to have a second child due to infertility. Then they all learned that they were surrogates for the same couple at the same time, with all their babies now taken away and put in foster care. 21 children ranging in age from 2 months to 13 years have been taken into custody by Child and Family Services. So Kayla, that's the 27-year-old. Now, okay. See, with all this information coming in, and I knew this, I told you guys that the 26-year-old pregnant surrogate was in Pennsylvania. They had first reported Kayla was in Pennsylvania. Now they're reporting she's in Texas. So with everything coming in, got to get this right. So Kayla, 27 years old in Texas, was among one of the women that decided to be a surrogate. She said she loves being pregnant. She was done growing her own family, so she thought what better way to experience pregnancy at the same time. And through the agency MARK Surrogacy, Kayla got matched to a couple in Arcadia, and after a successful embryo transfer via IVF, she gave birth to the baby on March 13th. 2 months later, she was shocked to learn the baby she carried was no longer with the intended parents. The child had been placed in foster care. She said, and I quote, "It was something I never would have expected to happen, something almost unbelievable unless you're living it." But Kayla found out she wasn't the only one, and her baby wasn't the only one that was removed from the home. One of the women delivered in Florida in June, but the baby was stillborn, tragically. 2 Los Angeles surrogates say they carried for this couple. One gave birth in March, another who had 2 babies, one in 2022 and another in 2024. I say they all worked with MARK Surrogacy. Public records list their Arcadia home as the address for the company, MARK Surrogacy, and it's also the residence of Sylvia Zhang, the woman right there in the bottom corner. In early May, Arcadia police launched a child abuse investigation responding to the same home after a 2-month-old baby was hospitalized with head trauma. Arcadia police say the baby's legal parents, Sylvia, and I'm not even going to pronounce his name. She's 38, apparently. He's 65. They were arrested on suspicion of felony child endangerment, neglect, with warrants served on May 9th, and they were later released on bail. Police are alleging a nanny abused the baby. Parents delayed seeking medical care for 2 days. Department of Children and Family Services investigated and removed all the children. Police say the children range in age from 2 months to 13 years old. Now, they do say that maybe one or two of the children were biologically Sylvia's. They said that Sylvia was able to show she's the legal mother on all of their birth certificates. And in recent months, there was paperwork submitted to terminate the MARK Surrogacy Company, right? Now, a surrogate in Pennsylvania, again, this is currently pregnant with a child, 26 weeks. And now she's finding out that. And she said she got a text message from a phone number that's associated with Sylvia. And it said, any accusations of wrongdoing are misguided and wrong. We look forward to vindicating any such claims at the appropriate time and if any actions are brought. The baby who was allegedly abused in May is still in the hospital. The parents have been arrested. Police say they have not been able to locate the nanny accused of injuring the child, but they have that nanny, the 56-year-old nanny, Tremaine, captured on home security, violently shaking that baby. Now, 21 children removed, 15 were in that Arcadia home, and 6 in another location where they were receiving childcare. Police also say they have evidence of additional abuse involving other nannies, and they plan to present the findings to the district attorney soon. Now, Kayla has started a GoFundMe account for legal fees so she can get custody of her child. So this is her GoFundMe. And it says, I'm reaching out with a heartfelt request for support as I seek legal placement of, so she wants to place the baby. She doesn't want custody of the baby. She wants to place the baby in another home. As I seek legal placement of the baby girl I delivered as a surrogate. Due to unexpected circumstances, baby girl, along with many others, have been placed in foster care. This little one deserves stability, love, and a safe home. I'm prepared and deeply committed to providing that for her, but the legal process to secure placement is complex and costly. Your support will help cover the legal fees and necessary expenses to ensure she stays in a nurturing environment rather than staying in foster care. Any contribution, no matter the size, makes a meaningful difference. Thank you. Now, see, that's kind of ambiguous. It's now sounding like she does want custody of that baby, but she's saying, I seek a legal placement. So to do it legally. So, but I do think she wants to be the child's mother. Thank you for standing with us during this. Critical. Where are we? During this critical time. Thank you so much for donating to such a bizarre and heart-wrenching cause. Within 1 day of raising the goal, we are already almost to a new goal. I have now raised the new amount to $7,000. Thank you so much. Okay, so she was talking. I have shared this link with my TikTok account. May 21st, June 12th. Thank you to those who have donated. I'm still in need of donations to secure a family custody lawyer specializing in foster care. Then July 2nd, quick update. I was in contact with the baby's attorney representing her in court, praying that the court will find it in the baby's best interest for her to come home to us rather than be in foster care. $295 raised today so far. So here's July 3rd, but July 4th, she's trying to make it to $600. July 14th, but yesterday, bam, she was, once I guess this story broke, she was then getting those donations. So then quickly reaching her goals there. So in California, experts in the surrogacy community say the case shows the importance of a need for additional regulations. Currently, there are no federal regulations on surrogacy, and the laws vary from state to state. In California, there's no licensing requirements for starting a surrogacy agency. Sunshine Hansen, the founder and president of Surrogacy, is explained. Interesting. And I know that some states, was it Alabama, that it's not allowed at all. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Whoopsie. Okay. So here's some photos that were released. There she is. That's Kayla Elliott from Texas. And she was pregnant with the baby. Okay, and let me get to okay, hang on now. So we have another. This is another of the surrogate mothers. This is the one in Florida that delivered a baby in June, but the baby was stillborn. So she said she felt disregarded and really discarded after the child she carried did not survive. She said that hurt her the most, that she felt like the baby was abandoned, and she was too. She is 31 years old, and she was told that Sylvia, 38, and her husband, 65, of Arcadia, had only one child, and they were seeking a sibling due to infertility issues. She later discovered she was one of several women who had been told the exact same story. So far, 6 women have come forward, including the one that's pregnant, currently 26 weeks in Pennsylvania. She, Perla, said that she went into preterm labor. She spent a month in the hospital and delivered a baby that was stillborn on June 3rd. She said the couple delayed critical paperwork during the medical emergency. They remained unresponsive even when complications arose, and they never came to the hospital for the birth or to take responsibility for the baby's remains. Then they had been arrested in May. Okay, she had the baby on June 3rd, so she didn't even know that they had been arrested. The couple's 21 children, at least 2, some of them were born via surrogacy, were later taken into protective custody. And Perla said it's very devastating, really bad for these kids. Shocking. I knew something was wrong. I just couldn't put 2 and 2 together. But see, why aren't they talking about how did this happen? What did they use this house? Like, what was going on? She says, like Kayla, they both went through embryo transfer at a Western Fertility Institute. Okay, so they did go to the Western Fertility Institute in 2024. They went 3 months apart. They were told the embryos were created using the father's sperm and a donor egg. Okay, so now they're saying there's a Virginia woman who's currently, but I think that's wrong. It's Pennsylvania. They're really, I don't know. I guess everybody's just wanting to get some more information, and a lot of stuff is not. Let's see. Lost it. Okay. Just so crazy. Let me see what you guys are saying about this story. Trying to get back to the chat. All right, I hope you can hear me because I'm sorry about sorry. Hi, Slammerin. Your membership is gone. It doesn't show up. It means it's gone. Yeah, it might be over. If you go to try to join again, it won't let you join if you have one. Hi, White Angel. Hi, Captain Lee Fan. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Denise. Hi, Slam RN. Super Chat Cat. Something doesn't add up. Nope, they had numerous nannies. Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all. And you changed channels. Oh no, we thought you loved us. Okay, anyway, something doesn't add up. Nobody can look after that many kids. They had numerous nannies. They did super chat, and one of the nannies abused one of the babies, 2 months old, shook the baby violently, and the baby is still in the hospital. So, but let me go and see what I can find out. Oh, you changed channels, so I just canceled so I can rejoin. Okay. Thank you. All right, let me see now. There's a lot of stuff that's not out here yet, okay? I mean, what's going on? Where did they get these embryos? Who was their fertility doctor? What was going on? This is crazy. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so now everything is coming up about being a surrogate parent now that I'm looking for this. You know, you've probably remembered Mary Beth Whitehead. Who remembers that one? That was her egg. That was her child biologically. So let me Well, there's so many TikToks. It's like, and I wonder if there's any that are fakers. You know how people fake everything, that are fakers on TikTok, that they're surrogates, they're pregnant at all. They might have those fake bellies and stuff. Who knows? Anyway, crazy. Okay, some of this stuff that I'm seeing. Let me go over here. I wish I could talk to this lady because I have so many questions to ask her. And how did they lose this nanny that they've lost, the one that violently shook the baby? How did they lose her? You know, the company MARK Surrogacy is no longer in business. Louisiana is the only state that completely prohibits all paid surrogacy. And like the, where's the neighbor that said the house was like a hotel? They lived in this mansion, but it was set up like a hotel, they said. So all right, let me go to, I want to go to the address. Oh no, I don't want that, honey. Thank you. Okay. Acadia, California. Okay. Trying to get, I guess the FBI has been taking stuff down because there was a page to write reviews for MARK Surrogacy, and that's gone. Okay, let's look this up. Trying to see here. Let's see here. Arcadia. Interesting. Hang on one second. Very interesting. Let me just check something right here. Bingo. Okay, so this, let me see here. I'm trying to look at that house right there. One minute. Let me just look at one thing, and because I want to make sure this is correct. Hold on, I'm just trying to get, I have to look at one thing. Okay. That's not what I want. I know this is right, but let me just make sure. Okay. This is another view of their home. Okay, where all the children were taken from. The FBI is part of the investigation. Okay. All right, so let me see something very interesting, because they say that it looks like Sylvia was a realtor, still is a realtor, still has a valid license, and so that's interesting. So they were arrested. And I don't know. They're out on bail. Now, oh, wait a minute. We've got some breaking news. Breaking news. It looks like they found the nanny and arrested her. Let me see. Well, it said they did. No, no, no. That was weird. It just said they arrested the nanny and then, let me see. Oh, nope. Nanny's still on the run. Nanny's still on the run. So now they're saying, first they were saying that they thought it was trafficking, and now they're saying it's a baby mill. But why were they just like, why wouldn't they have placed the babies when they were newborns? Why were these babies? I don't understand. This really doesn't make sense. Let's see. I don't know the condition of the baby that was shook so violently. Baby's still in the hospital. Now, while having dozens of children through surrogacy, they say, isn't technically illegal, the house was a crowded home situation, and they say it smells of trafficking. But how do we know that, they're saying that they're their embryos. There's much more to this story than is meeting the eye here. You guys are right on that one. I just can't. Let's see. One second. All right, let me go back to my little thing here. Hi, Christine. How are you? Hi, Super Chat. Yeah, but why did they have all those children? All those babies? Hi, Jeanette. That's not making sense, but let me go to... One second. Okay. So now they're saying baby mills. Let's see. All right. Nobody is asking who they were working with. Okay, now if people lie, okay. Okay, so it's finally someone's asking what I would ask. So where were the sperm and egg coming from? Who was the doctor who performed them? The transplants, the transfers. She said transplant. DNA test all the children. Probably came from sperm and egg banks. You know, some people freeze their own eggs. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I mean, let's see what they're saying. Okay. I don't know. So you don't have to have a license to open up a surrogacy company in California. That part is not illegal. Which the problem is that children were abused. But the problem is, why do they have 21? Why are these surrogates being lied to? That's another, that's fraud, okay? You don't need a license, but you can't be lying to your surrogates, okay? And saying that they're doing one thing with the baby and they're not, or where the baby's from, or all of that. I mean, this is so crazy. But if it was a baby factory, why were the babies not put up for adoption or whatever, you know, they were going to, however they were going to do it? Were they going to, like, do something like on, you know, with a lot of money that people were essentially donating to adopt or whatever, you know what I mean. But why were the kids 3 years old? Why were they aging up? Why were there so many? Why weren't these babies placed? If that was their scam, if it was a baby factory or mill, as there a lot of people are calling it, why were they holding on to these babies and hiring nannies to take care of them that were abusing them? It's not making sense. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, what was that? What the heck was that? What was that? Hold on a second. I've got to go see what that was. That was really freaky. Let me go see what that was. What, to traffic when they're... That's a long commitment. I mean, I don't know. Wouldn't they, I mean, I don't know. I wonder what, hold on, I'm just making sure. I don't know what that was. And in the meantime, in the meantime, I'm gonna get some watermelon. Okay. No, Jimmy's in bed. I didn't know what that was. I think it was, I don't know what it was. I really don't. I'm trying to see. Apparently, looks like she was a real estate agent. Had listings. I don't know. If she was, a lot of people had to know her. I would say there's more and more people that are going to be coming forward. But how come her neighbor literally knows how the house is set up, but didn't notice that there was 21 children there? Come on. Let me see something. One second. Okay. All right. Here's the home on realtor.com. And it's not the real estate game that we're playing. But it could be. So I wonder if the neighbor saw the house here, because it doesn't sound like look at those hands. I do not like that furniture at all. That looks really strange, doesn't that? What the heck is going on there? That looks like it had Sub-Zero built-in refrigerators in there, and for some reason they took them out and then they just stuck something in there like that. That looks atrocious. I don't see that circular desk they said they had. With all those children. Is that pool fenced in? Okay, it is. I don't see if, well, there's, it's on that side. Look how those houses are right on top of each other. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? That was just so crazy. That's why Binky says to me, oh my gosh, land. Right? Because there's no land. Look at that. Look at that. Seriously. There's no lawn. There's no... Where do you even... Wow. I don't even... That's why, now I understand so much why Binky says that. Can't imagine spending that amount of money and being that close to someone. I can't even. Look at it. You're in this pool. They're right here. Hi. You would need a tube over there? Can we throw you over a swim noodle? I don't know. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Okay, so let me see where you guys are. Sorry that I'm eating watermelon. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, it's a nice house, Jeanette, but doesn't the fact that you said it was set up for a hotel say a lot? I don't know, Super Chat. That's how most of the houses are over there, Denise? I would not want to live like that. I would not. And this is probably because I've always, lived where we had land around the house. I don't know. I want a yard. What's the price? I don't think it's for sale, but let's see. It's off the market. It was built in 1992. It was last sold for $3.3 million in 2021. And that's what, didn't they say they started having babies? I think the majority of the babies started to come in 2022. But that's 4 years ago. I wonder what the guy's profession is, you know? And is he her husband? Are they married? My gosh, he could be her dad. $65 and $38. Well, it looks like she was a realtor. Is it bothering anyone that I'm eating watermelon? If it's bothering you, like really bad, let me know. Denise had said something about watermelon. When I got up to look for the noise, then I remembered the watermelon. If it's bothering you, let me know. Yeah, but I don't think it's 3.3 million now, though. It's probably, oh, it says 4.465. See there, estimated. He is much older than her, yes. It's not bothering you? Okay. Maybe he's her sugar daddy. I don't know, Jeanette. I really don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say something, okay? Doesn't he kind of look like her father? Do you see any resemblance in the eyes and stuff and the nose? He looks like her father to me. Do you see any resemblance? Okay. Thanks, Captain Lee. Does anybody see the resemblance in these two? I see a resemblance in the eyes especially, and like the look that they have. Well, yes, it just broke. They were arrested in in May, but for some reason, I think it was that surrogate that's been getting very vocal about things. It really broke today. I don't know either, Jeanette. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We don't know anything. We don't even know who the nannies were. Was one of the nannies his wife? I don't know. The nannies are on the run. How did they lose the nannies? Where did the nannies go? Where's the nannies? Okay, I'm going to put this back so I can get back on the job. Give me a second. What are you guys doing? Oh, you silly. Are you making noise? Come here. Come here. Oh, shoot, I got blueberries. Hold on a second. I gotta get more saran wrap here. Come here. You can't. I think I know where my noise was coming from. Jasper. Did I tell you Jasper ate a whole, did I tell you about the beef jerky and Jasper? Let me tell you about that. And hold on, because I've got to clean up this watermelon. Okay. Put this over here. And let me go get Jasper something so he's not... Oh shoot, every time Luke moves my ice, why does he do this to me? Hold on, let me just get Jasper over here. Come here. Here. You're a goofy guy. You're a goofy guy. Here you go. You want this? Want that? Goofy ball. You're a goofball. You're a goofball. Hold on. Come back. Oh no, shoot. Hold on. Okay. I had the watermelon. It was really juicy. I had to clean it. It spilled a little bit of juice. Okay. Watermelon. Oh. Yeah, well, Denise mentioned the watermelon, and then I thought about the watermelon. Okay, let's go back to this story. Let me see if anything new has come out here. Okay. And let me see if my... Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't know why this broke yesterday, because the child after an abuse, it looks like the children were removed in May. I don't know why you would think, with all the people coming in taking all those kids out of there, that you would... See, it says most of the children were between the age of newborn, or 2 months to 3. And they said they believe 1 or 2 were born biologically to the mother. Neglect charges were not formally pursued. In order for an investigation to continue, the couple told police they wanted a large family. Okay, so we're getting some more information now here. Let's see what this says. See, it says Sylvia Sang, 38, and I can't... Guajong Juan... I'm butchering his name, 65, are believed to be the legal parents. See, they're saying legal parents. They were arrested in May after a hospital reported that their 2-month-old infant had a traumatic head injury, the result of a nanny at the home violently shaking the baby. The child was not taken to the hospital for 2 days. So... was investigating this. Lieutenant Colin Siadlo. Okay, said that the neglect charges were not formally pursued. In order for an investigation to continue, the couple told police they wanted a large family. Then it says, Sylvia produced what appeared to be legitimate birth certificates, including some from outside California, that list her as the mother of the children. Siadlo said the FBI is also part of the investigation. Siadlo said, I'm not familiar with how the surrogacy laws work. We need to do a much deeper dive. Okay, business records with the California Secretary of State show a company called MARK Surrogacy Investment LLC was previously registered as at the couple's address. The most recent filing shows that the business was terminated in June. Now, apparently, Kayla Elliott said she didn't know that they were the owners of the surrogacy agency. Okay, so the only thing we learned there that was new was that they told police they wanted a big family, so they acted like these were their children. Well, that's a heck of a lot more than a big family, okay? And you're lying to the surrogates, and they're being abused. And where's the nanny? Okay, let's see. See if we can find anything else. Okay, here's some more information. Arcadia police say the home was set up like a school. Now we hear a school. Cameras seized from the property showed the children being emotionally and physically abused by at least 6 nannies. Authorities say the video showed a nanny violently shaking and striking the hospitalized infant on May 5th. I hope that baby is okay, and resulting in a loss of consciousness. The baby was not hospitalized until 2 days later after the onset of seizures. There is no law against hiring multiple surrogate mothers at a time. But as we can see, this case highlights inherent dangers of commercial surrogacy. Okay, let's see what else we can find out. What do you want, Jesse? What do you want, Jesse? Okay. And where were these other 6, and how old were these other 6 children that were living with others? The case came to light on May 7th when officers with the Arcadia Police Department learned that a 2-month-old boy was admitted to the hospital with a traumatic head injury and intracranial bleeding. Police traced the infant to the multi-million-dollar home in the 600 block of West Camino Real Avenue in Arcadia. Inside the home, police allegedly found 15 children between the ages of 2 months and 13 years. There were at least 6 nannies taking care of the children. The home was set up basically like a homeschool, the younger children. There were classroom settings, and there were areas for the children to play and eat and things like that. It was very much focused on education. Now I haven't seen what that neighbor said, so maybe that neighbor they found out was full of something, I don't know. It appeared that a lot of time was spent as a group with all the children and the nannies going through education-type materials. Officers found an additional 6 children they say are related to the investigation. The majority of the kids were probably within the 1 to 3 year age range. Police obtained surveillance footage which allegedly show one of the nannies employed by the child's parents violently shaking and striking the 2-month-old boy. Police say the infant wasn't transported to the hospital for another 2 days. Okay, so this is the nanny that they are looking for. This nanny right here. This is the woman they're looking for. That's Chimay Lee. An arrest warrant has been issued for the 56-year-old nanny, the one you see pictured there. Investigators believe that some of the children were born through surrogacy. Sylvia was able to produce birth certificates showing her as the mother for the children. We don't believe that she birthed all these children. The age range would make it impossible. There's just too many at too close an age for her to have done that. We do know that at least a few of the children were born through surrogacy. The couple ran a surrogacy business. We were aware that they were running a surrogacy business, but we don't know the extent of that. It's almost like a two-phase investigation. The first phase is securing charges, and the second phase is going to be looking at kind of where the surrogacy business takes us. We're going to be working with the feds on that side of it. Okay, so then a Texas woman named Kayla, who was allegedly hired by the couple as a surrogate, claims that Kayla was not the only surrogate. Halfway through her pregnancy, other women reached out and they started talking, and she found out that there were many different women who were pregnant at the same time as Kayla with a baby for the same intended parents. And then not only that, but one of the babies had been harmed by a nanny, and CPS was involved. Kayla is currently trying to get custody of the baby she gave birth to on March 13th. She said, "It was something I never would have expected to happen, something almost unbelievable unless you're living it." Gotta be more. Much more than this. Much more than this. More than 20 children are in the state custody. Can't believe nobody's really talking about where they did mention where they had transfer done, but so weird. And are these two even married? And there's the nanny that they're looking for. Hi, Victoria. You've been having to buy chocolate. Really? Okay, the nanny looks like that husband. How come there's just not more? Okay. Well, the nanny here, she's 56. She's the one they're looking for. That's the one that was violently shaking the little boy. The baby boy brought to the hospital. So does that mean there's 22 children removed, or are they counting that little boy among the 21? Let me see here. Okay. Huh. Hang on a moment. Okay. Okay, let's see about this. Okay, so it looks like they purchased their home in 2022. Somebody's saying for 2.5 million, but that's not what it's looking like. It's looking like it was purchased for 3.3. Oh, here's another picture of them. Here. Hang on a minute. I guess, is that their surrogacy picture?
What do you want to surrogate?
Oh my gosh. What the hell? Did you just hear that? And that was my stupid watch giving me a heart attack. Never talks to
I
me.
don't know
And
how to respond to that.
what is talking to me? Doesn't know how to. What is that? It's not my watch. What is that? It's my iPad. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Be quiet. How to respond to that? Be quiet. Man. What the heck? Be quiet. All right, let me see what this is like. I'm calling them an age gap couple. Okay, let me see here. All right, let me see about this. 15 children. Now they're saying 15 born with surrogate. I don't think they know exactly how many were born with the surrogates. But there is one still, at least one still currently pregnant. You know, they're going on. Now they're saying it's a baby factory, but what is this baby factory for? And how many babies were there altogether? How come there's no pictures of them when they brought all those children out of that house? Why is this just breaking now? Why did no one mention this before? It's so crazy. Okay. Authorities take custody. Yeah, it's crazy. I just don't understand how there's not more information. Because you've got all these surrogates involved in this. Oh, the squeaking. That's the wheel. We had to fix the ball bearing. I tried to. Okay, so let's get. Could be doing it for money. But what, how? What, I mean, are we going to find out there were 45 children and some were given up for adoption? Like, what are they doing? There's something really weird going on here. Really, really weird. Really weird. I don't get it. I don't get it. But let's take a look at what else is going on in the world. I know that the au pair, speaking of nannies, that au pair thing with guy that murdered his wife, and remember that in Virginia? That's heating up. Supposed to go to trial in the fall. Tsunami hit the coastline in Alaska. Terrifying sirens ring in Alaska just minutes before a tsunami hit the coastline. Did you guys know that? There's been earthquakes in Alaska too. Eerie sirens rang out across of central Alaska on Wednesday afternoon after a catastrophic 7.3 magnitude earthquake triggered a series of tsunami warnings. A potent 7.2 magnitude earthquake, later upgraded to a 7.3, hit 50 miles south of Sandpoint, Alaska, prompting a tsunami warning for South Alaska and Alaska Peninsula. Residents of central Alaska were treated to loud blares of siren warnings, a possible tsunami. Authorities caution that destructive waves, strong currents, and debris-laden floodwaters could hit repeatedly for hours, with subsequent waves potentially being more dangerous than the initial ones. Steer clear of beaches, harbors, and low-lying coastal areas until officials declare them safe. Wow. Let's see. Let's see what else is happening. 28-year-old died after, I told you the lightning is different. 28-year-old guy died after getting struck on a golf course in New Jersey. He was struck by lightning when he was golfing at a tournament in New Jersey on Tuesday, July 8th. He died from his injuries. Simon John Mariani, 28 years old, was struck during the competition at the Ballyowen Golf Club. So the club is at Crystal Springs Resort in Hamburg. Gosh, we went to the Crystal Springs Resort, a borough in Sussex County near the New York state line and about an hour drive from New York City. And I was just thinking about Crystal Springs Resort. I have pictures on that golf club, on the golf course. I was just thinking about it today. Oh my gosh. According to his obituary, Mariani died on Monday, July 14th. Mariani lived in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey, very close to where I lived, about 30 miles southeast of the golf course. Wow, that's so sad. The lightning is really different this year. It's striking so many people. Then this is almost like that man that had collapsed when my daughter was in a bike race in New Jersey, and her and this other firefighter did CPR on him, and then she got that award, medal. This Dr. Peter Sultan was not only skilled and a trusted member of the medical community, but he was a mentor, a colleague, and a friend to many. He was a father of two, and he was participating in the Jamesport Triathlon in Riverhead, New York on Sunday, July 13th. It's an annual athletic event, and he collapsed. He is a 54-year-old orthopedic surgeon, and he tragically died during the event. A renowned surgeon died. It's with profound sadness that we announce the passing of Dr. Peter Sultan, a respected and compassionate physician whose dedication to patient care, medical excellence, and community well-being left a lasting impact on all who knew him. That's the Peconic Bay Medical Center. Dr. Sultan was not only a skilled and trusted member of the medical community, but also a mentor, colleague, and a friend to many. We extend our deepest condolences to Dr. Sultan's family, especially his children, Elizabeth and William, friends, colleagues, and patients. His legacy will live on in the countless lives he touched throughout his distinguished career. Wow. He was, besides being known for his medical excellence, he was known to be an incredibly gifted musician and an avid athlete. He was honored with the hospital's Physician of the Year Award in 2012 and recognized as one of New York's top hip and knee replacement surgeons. He was one of Long Island's top orthopedic surgeons. I don't know. I mean, so did he just... Wow. Very sad. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. Okay. You tell me this isn't crazy, okay? Hold on, I've got to get this over here. Oh my goodness. Here he is. Okay. That is, hold on, Olympian Auden, Gronvold, 49 years old, died after being struck by lightning. Died after being struck by lightning. He earned a bronze medal in men's ski cross at the 2010 Vancouver Games. He died July 15th after being struck by lightning. How many people have, I'm telling you, the lightning, something is going on, guys. You see lightning, get inside. I'm telling you, the lightning is different. I said to Sandy again today, we should have not been on that. We are so lucky. And she's like, well, I don't even know how we survived that. But I know, I haven't seen a lot of lightning here so much. But when there was a storm like a week or so ago, I know that it was just different. And something just told me, like, get right in the house. It is, something is really crazy now going on, okay? Where was he struck? It doesn't make it clear whether... So crazy. So apparently there's a new book and James Patterson wrote it. I thought it was Patterson. Didn't James... Oh, no. Why am I thinking James Patterson wrote The Notebook? But that was Nicholas Sparks, right? Why am I thinking James Patterson wrote something else? Anyway, he wrote a new book. And apparently what is being said about this new book is that, let's see, says that, get this. Apparently, allegedly, Brian Kohlberger got his hands-on experience as a burglar while pilfering homes to fund a teenage heroin addiction. He was a heroin addict as a young man in Pennsylvania, and he was breaking and entering into houses. This is according to James Patterson, who wrote this book, and on interviews that he's given on Fox and Friends. He'd been doing it for years, and it's exactly what happened in Moscow. He broke into the house and he killed 4 beautiful students. Patterson got together with investigative journalist Vicki Ward on the book The Idaho 4: An American Tragedy. He has no publicly visible criminal record in his home state. He was forced out of a security job for reasons that have never been made public, and reportedly has an expunged 2014 conviction for the theft and sale of his sister's iPhone after a stint in rehab to pay for his heroin addiction when he was 19 in 2023. 2023. Wait. That doesn't make sense. Okay, no, that's written wrong. When he was 19. Forget that. You've got to go on now. In 2023, police confirmed the case had been expunged, and there was no record of it. Now, his father, Michael Kohlberger, told police that his son had just gotten out of rehab, swiped the phone, and paid a pal $20 to drive him to the mall, where he allegedly sold it for $200. The authors found victims from Kohlberger's past in Pennsylvania, where he spent most of his life, which shed new light on the capacity for manipulation and plotting. Someone named Connie Saba told the authors a story of how Kohlberger, as a teenager, manipulated her into telling him when she'd be out of her house to visit her son, Jeremy, in jail because he planned to break into her house, steal an iPad and other things from her. She said it was a betrayal, a very striking one, because he had next to no friends, and and her son might have been the only one. Connie said she'd been nothing but welcoming and kind to Brian, and it was devastating, a devastating breach of trust. And when she imitated him, coming back a year or so later to apologize to her for the break-in, and showed the author the creepy way he just appeared in her kitchen like a ghost, frightening her. And she said one could imagine him just appearing at 1122 King Road on the night of the murders. Okay, let's see here. Now, former Navy SEAL Mark Bayless believes that Brian Kohlberger successfully stalked him and his property for hours, possibly days, to steal valuables from him. It shows the cold-blooded, calculated side of him, a side that I think we all saw in court in early July when he pled guilty with zero emotion. He stood up in court with his back straight, admitting to the murders without a glance at his parents, so his parents went, or those of the victims, most of whom were in the room, of the victims' families. In the gallery near the defense table, his father wiped away tears and asked a bailiff for water. At one point, even the Latta County prosecuting attorney Bill Thompson choked down a tear as he wrapped up the summary of the prosecution's case. Yeah, he did. He was very emotional. Kohlberger had no meaningful connection to the victims. Okay, so Florida's breaking the execution record. See what's happening over there. The United States has reached its highest number of executions in 10 years. Florida is at the center of the trend. On Tuesday, the execution of Michael Bell marked the 26th carried out in 2025 so far, a figure not seen since 2015. Michael Bell, 54, was executed by lethal injection at the Rayford State Penitentiary for the 1993 murders of Jimmy West and Tamika Smith in Jacksonville, Florida. Bell killed as an act of revenge for his brother's death, but mistakenly targeted the wrong man. Oh my gosh. Killing the brother of his intended victim and a young woman accompanying him. I think I heard about this in a podcast a long time ago. Didn't I? I think so. Bell was one of 30 inmates on Florida's death row who spent part of their youth at the infamous Florida School for Boys, also known as the Dozier School. The institution was shut down in 2011 after over a century of documented abuse and mistreatment. Its dark history inspired Colson Whitehead's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Nickel Boys. In 2016, investigators uncovered 55 unmarked graves on the school's grounds. Okay. So Florida is okay. Currently, the death penalty is abolished in 23 U.S. states. 3 others, California, Oregon, Pennsylvania, have paused executions under gubernatorial moratoriums. Let's see. See one thing here. Hold on. There's something. Oh, an Iowa news anchor. See, a new person of interest. Somebody was just talking about this. A new person of interest emerges in a documentary on a decades-old disappearance of an Iowa news anchor. But there's also something Amy somebody is missing that I've been seeing. I want to look at that too because I think there's something that came out. This is, and I had never heard of this. Let me see here. Jody, hold on a minute. And Sassy Dorsey was talking about this. And so was Denise. Jody Hussentrut's disappearance. They're saying that 30 years after an Iowa news anchor vanished without a trace while on her way to work, a documentary documentary has suggested a new person of interest as authorities aim to solve a case that was previously thought to have gone cold. Brad Millerburned, the ex-husband of Jody's childhood best friend, Patty Niemeyer, was investigated by Iowa police after tips suggested he may have been involved in the '95 abduction of Jody. The newly released ABC News documentary, Her Last Broadcast, The Abduction of Jody Huisentruit, Niemeyer reportedly revealed her ex-husband matched unreleased police suspect sketches with Miller Burned living approximately 3 hours from Jody's apartment at the time of her disappearance. Let's see. Millerburned has maintained his innocence throughout the 30-year-long investigation and has continued to cooperate with authorities, according to the documentary. She vanished on the morning of June 27, 1995, as she was on her way to work as a morning show anchor at the local TV news station KIMT TV, Fox 9. She called a coworker to say she was on her way to the station but never arrived. Following the discovery of her belongings and a sign of struggle outside of her Mason City apartment, including a bent key and a pair of high heels on the ground near her vehicle, police quickly ruled Jody was abducted. Additionally, a witness reported seeing a white van in the area and hearing a scream. Despite an extensive search, authorities never located her. No arrests have been made in her disappearance, and she was declared legally dead in 2001. We haven't put this down. We haven't stopped working. We have not stopped pursuing leads and information. Okay. Last year, officers searched a property in nearby Winstead, Minnesota, located about 170 miles from Mason City, but they didn't find anything pertaining to Jody's disappearance. Okay. So I don't know if they're going to find something. Oh, here's the other one. Amy Bradley. See? Amy Bradley. There's a Netflix series revisiting the disappearance of Richmond's Amy Bradley. Let's see. So it's called Amy Bradley is Missing. It dropped today. That's why I was seeing it all over. The 23-year-old was on a Caribbean cruise with her parents and her brother in March of '98 when she seemingly disappeared while aboard the ship. The 3-part series takes a look at the investigation into Bradley's disappearance, and it includes interviews with her family, eyewitnesses from the ship, and FBI investigators. The filmmakers talked to people who've reported seeing her since. All 3 episodes are now streaming on Netflix. Wow, that's crazy. When did they say it happened? 98? When she was 23? Crazy. That's crazy. Huh. Okay, let me see here. So weird. That's crazy to disappear from this ship. Tornado across Wisconsin. Taylor Swift's dad is recovering from heart surgery. Multiple tornadoes reported as severe storms slammed the Midwest. Paraglider hit phone's lines and plunged into the river. Oh boy. One dead and four. Okay, here, guys. I'm telling you, the lightning is crazy. 1 dead and 14 injured after lightning strike in New Jersey. Asbury Park. 1 person was killed and 14 others were injured, including 8 children, after a lightning strike at an outdoor archery range in New Jersey on July 16th. The lightning strike happened at 7:07 p.m. at the Black Knight Bowbenders Archery Range in Jackson Township, a suburb in Ocean County, located about east of the state's capital city of Trenton. The incident occurred while the club was hosting a competition for the Boy Scouts. Oh, wow. The lightning strike killed a 61-year-old man, sent another to the burn center at Cooperman Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, New Jersey. 8 of the victims were juveniles, the mayor said. The deceased is an instructor, and it looks like the victims were with Scouting America or Cub Scouts. Unfortunately, every single one of the 14 were taken to the hospital. In addition to the burn victim, 13 other people, including 8 children, were sent to the local hospitals for treatment, and their injuries ranged from minor burns to some reporting feeling electrical sensations in their body. The lightning also struck an apartment complex in town, but minor damage was reported. Wow, that is so crazy. No other incidents reported from the thunderstorm. The incident occurred as thunderstorms were forecasted for parts of the eastern and central United States on July 16th. Today was Lula's birthday, too. The lightning strike happened shortly before a severe thunderstorm warning was issued in Ocean County. Wow. It's crazy. You can't tell me. This is just crazy. This lightning is just crazy. I don't know. I don't know. Just nuts. Okay, let's see. Just want to see what else, if there's anything else here that so crazy. Okay, I want to check one other thing. Come on. What is this about? So, they said Nicholas St. James, 62 years old, the owner of a viral golden retriever experience, was given an 18-week prison sentence after pleading guilty to animal welfare charges. Okay, let's see. He was, okay. After multiple dogs in his care died due to neglect and overcrowded unsanitary conditions. Revealed the dogs were confined in cramped rooms inside the home. They rescued about 30 golden retrievers inside the home. The owner of the viral dog petting experience in Somerset, England, has been banned from having dogs for 10 years after some of the animals he was keeping died in his care. He ran the popular golden retriever attraction. So it was an attraction. People went there and petted dogs. Yikes. The dogs were kept in unclean and overcrowded conditions with little access to fresh water. The owner had 20 of the dogs living in a kitchen with concrete floors and others cramped into a nearby bedroom. This left dogs to fight over resources. Prosecutors heard in court, per the outlet, many of the dogs were found with fighting injuries, and 2 of the dogs died from bite wounds. A former staff member who used to help look after the dogs said the job became a horrible nightmare due to the disgusting, unclean, and cramped conditions. And she said one of the newer dogs got mauled to death by one of the others. He wasn't part of the pack, and obviously they turned on him. He was such a lovely dog and deserved so much better. Huh. See what we got here. Come on. What is this? She's convicted in a baby's death. Who's this? Constance Martin, I didn't look up that nanny, and Mark Gordon were convicted of manslaughter in the 2023 death of their infant, Victoria. She was born into nobility, and she and her partner were convicted of manslaughter. Constance Martin, 38 years old, and Mark Gordon, 51, were living in a tent in freezing conditions along with their newborn Victoria, while on the run from authorities, according to the Metropolitan Police. The couple was arrested following a 7-week manhunt in 2023 that was sparked by discovery of a placenta in their burning car. Martin is the daughter of Napier Martin, once a page for Queen Elizabeth II, and the granddaughter of Mary Ann Martin, who was the goddaughter of the Queen Mother. The BBC reported Martin told friends that when she was a child, she would play with Prince William and Prince Harry. She reportedly cut ties with her family in 2016. Prior to his relationship with Martin, Gordon had spent 20 years in a U.S. prison after being convicted of R-ing a woman at knife point in Florida when he was 14 years old. Following his release from prison, he was deported to the UK in 2010, and Martin and Gordon met a few years later. The couple had 4 other children in addition to Victoria. The Metropolitan Police said Martin and Gordon were arrested in Brighton, in southern England, February of 2023. On March 1st, Victoria's body was found inside a bag near where they had been staying. Victoria's cause of death remains undetermined, though they claimed Martin told officers the baby had died in her sleep and didn't elaborate further. Victoria's death was completely avoidable. Detective Superintendent Lewis Basford said in a statement, the couple had plenty of opportunities to do the right thing and come forward to ask for help. They knew that officers were looking for them. Wow, but why were they, hold on a minute, why were they on the run? That's what they don't explain very well. Now let me look at that au pair thing. Hold on a moment. Brazilian au pair. Now, I don't know why this is coming out, because this was all over today on something that I was seeing. Just don't know why it was coming out. Hold on a minute. What's going on here? Okay. That must have been something really, really old. Why was that on tonight? Okay, I apologize about that. They were saying like something went viral on that. Okay. Well, forget that one. All right, let me see now. night, Captain Lee. Yeah, I'm going to do the word game and then I'm going to go to bed as well. It's been a long day. It's been a long day. Yeah, said, that's right. Said. Okay. Side I have, let's see. You can't see properly on the phone? Let's do something to make it a little easy. That really didn't help us too much. That did. Now we just need the one on top. There we go. What the heck is that? What the heck is that? That was weird. That was weird. Some kind of a jet or something. Claims, that's a good one. Claim and claims. We got clams. Slam, very good. Oh, hi, Murder Crows. What's funny? Why is that funny, Heart Made Wise? I don't understand. Hi, Grateful Pez. LASIK? Good try. Oh, male. Yeah. Excuse me. Murder of crows, and I get a word one after the other a lot. Murder of crows, and I get a word one after the other. What? I don't get it. Murder of crows, and I get a word one after the other a lot. Oh, murder of crows, and you get. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, never mind. Now I get it. I didn't know what you were saying. I understand it now. Oh, how about mall? Oh, you had that. Okay, I didn't see you have that. All right, very good now. Stomach is grumbling. Okay. It's gonna try cam. Some, okay. Tried cams. Ba 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 ba. Oh, you and I got it at the same time, murder. Uh-oh. Somebody put a ring on it. Oh, someone tell me a bad dream. Injuring, yeah. Very good. Okay, we're almost done with this one. Can't be an R. Can't be an I. Can't be a J. Probably gonna be an N. None. Okay, I think I'm gonna go to bed right now. It's almost 3 in the morning, okay? But I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. Thank you for staying with me tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody be good. Be good. Love you. Bye-bye.